and welcome to Frankly Speaking. Mr. Kinjarapu Ram Mohan Naidu, the Union Civil Aviation Minister, thank you for sparing time because this has been a week of distress, of stranded passengers, of funerals being missed, of weddings being missed, of exams being skipped. Clearly there is anger all around, and there are several questions that the people of India today need to ask you. Thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Naidu, I want to ask you, it seems like from the outside, and this is what people are saying, that we knew this was going to happen and we didn't do anything in time. That is the biggest charge against you. Was the ministry, was the regulator sleeping on the wheel, is the question people of India ask tonight.
No, that is definitely not true in the sense that this was supposed to be happening. Because if you look at the history of how we are doing the operations and how we advise the airlines to do the operations, we do thorough stakeholder consultation with sitting with all the airlines and looking at their schedules very, very in-depth way and then trying to assign them considering all the aspects. And you have to always remember that the Indian civil aviation is a continuously growing sector. You want to cater for the demand also that is being created. So keeping that in mind, and then you have to keep the safety in mind, and then you have to keep the passenger rights in mind. So compared to all of these are things which the ministry, the regulator, everyone focuses on, discusses deeply with the stakeholders, and then we assign it. And if it comes specifically to this week of distress that we are talking about, this in one way has been initiated by the November 1st flight duty time limitations that have come into place. And why do we do the FDTL? Because we care about the safety of the people. We care about safe operations to happen in the country. We care about the pilot safety, the fatigue that they face. So which is why we have implemented new FDTL guidelines and we have put two phases. So that you should ask me, why are we putting two phases? We have put two phases so that the airlines has sufficient time to address this issue. First was on 1st July 2025 and the second phase came in 1st November 2025. So there was ample stakeholder consultation. It was not something which was unanticipated.
Well, then if there was stakeholder consultation that happened, I want to ask you two basic questions. The international norms came into operation in January of 2024. Between January of 2024 to January of 2025, it required the High Court to give orders that this FDTL needed to be implemented. It wasn't as if the consultations and your worry led to the implementation. It was a High Court order. Having said that, you said two phases, July 1st and November 1st. But November 1st, it wasn't implemented. May I just read out how many flights were cancelled in the month of November itself? It is about 1,232 flights cancelled by IndiGo alone in November. 755 of them cancelled due to crew and flight duty time limitation constraints. 1,200 plus flights had been cancelled by this airline only in November. December is when the crisis hit. In November, what was the regulator doing? What was the ministry doing?
In November, if you look at the facts properly, there have been certain days where the cancellations were absolutely zero. We have been thoroughly observing the situation, not only for IndiGo, we have been observing it for all the airlines. All the airlines, due consultation was done before the implementation, and also the idea was let the airlines also be prepared to do this. So the consultation was going on. In the meantime, when the High Court orders were also passed, we respected the High Court orders. We gave the timelines. That was all in consultation with the airlines. This is the first thing that we have to understand, that in implementation of the FTTL, the airlines was also partner. Don't take away the responsibility of the airlines here. They have to be responsible, accountable in this issue. And if there was a difficulty, then it has to be faced by all the airlines. And within IndiGo, you are seeing why I'm trying to mention this point is we have to understand why exactly this has happened. November, you're mentioning certain cancellations. November, there was...
Certain, sir. 1,200 plus cancellations.
There were certain other issues of the weather issues. And there were also volcano issue that was happening, which was their visions were supposed to happen. So there are multiple other issues also which have come in.
755 cancellations
Yes,
only on
yes,
FDTL
yes,
in November.
Yes, and then we have discussed with them. We had a meeting on 1st December 2025. 1st December 2025 on FDTL with IndiGo. On FDTL with IndiGo. We have given all the chance for IndiGo to speak with us on FDTL. They have asked for clarifications. Whatever clarifications we were supposed to give after due consultation, we have given them. Even after that, it was IndiGo which has messed up its own internal crew management and crew rostering. This is exactly the point that I want to make.
So if IndiGo has messed up its internal systems, why are you accommodating them? Every time there is a press release and it says that IndiGo has profusely apologized. They don't even know what their internal issues are. They have said so in a press release. They have not appeared before you. Every time the ministry has accommodated them. Every time the ministry has relaxed the norms for them, you have given them time till February. You have cancelled and taken back your FDTL norms till such time that IndiGo is comfortable. I want to ask you, are we running airlines here for the comfort of the people of India or for the comfort of the profiteering of an airline called IndiGo Airlines?
Navika ji, let me make it very, very clear once again that the ministry, the government is there for the people and not any company and not any airline or not any other people who are behind this. Let me just rephrase it this way. I'm the Minister of Civil Aviation of the country. There is an incident that has happened. It is the responsibility of me to ensure the normalcy is also there. There are still hundreds and thousands and lakhs of people who still want to travel, reach their destinations. I'll take the point which I've already mentioned. Air travel is an emergency travel most of the times. They want to reach within the stipulated point of time. And they wanted to reach the destination for many important things. So is it not my responsibility to normalize the stabilize the activity that has been happening? So which is why for a temporary period, we have done so finding the issue, the root cause that this might be the issue to restabilize, reboot the operations. It was done as a temporary measure, reducing the operations. We are having curtailed operations right now. We are not running that full capacity what they have had.
They are not in a position to run it.
They are not in a position to run it and we are not running it at the full capacity to restabilize, because here we all have to keep in mind that the safety is of the first priority.
My friend, you have rolled back FDTL.
Safety
has been compromised.
This is to reboot the roster. This is not to compromise on the safety. Safety risk assessment has been done, considering the roster that they have, considering the operations with which they are doing. Your fact comes to the point if I'm doing it at that grand scale of operations which they have envisioned. But we are doing curtailed operations here. The roster needed to be rebooted, and which is why to immediately get back onto the track for aviation, for all the necessary people who still wanted to travel in this time, it was a necessary thing. And we have put very strict guidelines on that it is for a temporary period. And it is also going to be verified how they are going to get back on track. On a weekly basis, we are going to review this issue.
Mr. Ram Mohan Raidu, my question to you is, we are 2 years behind schedule on implementing safety for passengers. So that you are doing a lot for safety of passengers is a concern that you should put aside. This really does not wash down with the people of India. Seems to be that lives are extremely cheap in this country, which is why airlines are accommodated, people are not. There are refunds, there are provisions, and it is absolutely evident with the sequence of events that IndiGo had no plan. They had no plan to implement the roster duty changes, the FDTL requirements. They had no plans, and evidence suggests that to a lay person. Yet what IndiGo gets in return is accommodation, relaxation of deadlines for implementation, and a profusely apologetic statement that they put out. Not one head has rolled, not one action has been taken. And may I tell you the human side of this? There was a lady traveling from Shillong to Kolkata, accompanying the casket of her dead husband. If you saw that, Mr. Naidu, you would sit here and cry just as that woman, hapless woman, who was waiting and the airlines had no answers to give them. In the middle of this, if you give me an assurance that you are worried about the safety, I'm sorry, nobody in this country will believe you.
First of all, I totally sympathize with all the people of the country who have faced this distress. There is no second thought about it. Not only as a minister, as a person of this country, when people go through this hardship, it is the empathy that comes out. And I totally have it for the people. And it is with that empathy also that I'm working here, keeping a passenger-centric approach. And this has been my approach all throughout. I consider people to be the most topmost priority. And there are ways of doing things when it comes to safety, when it comes to regulations, because there are, like you said, courts are involved. There are different organizations involved, stakeholders involved. When you have the complete consultation process of the stakeholders, what needs to be done in a month, what needs to be done in 2 months, considering the factual situation, considering the opinions and feedback from all, it might take some time. But you are arriving there, you are trying to do it. And on the other point, of the safety aspect, we have never compromised on anything. Once we have implemented, we have not gone back on anything. And here also, I'm trying to specifically mention this point. The very passengers who are hurt, who are agitating, who are facing this crisis, it was important for them to reach their destinations. It was important for us to restructure the operations so that they do immediately. And in the entire process, let me make one point very, very clear, that we are not leaving IndiGo at all. They are very accountable.
I haven't seen, people haven't seen any action so far. What are you going to do?
We from the ministry have advised the regulator to cut down 10% of the operations.
That's not punishment enough.
10% of the operations in the prime routes. There are multiple things. This will act as a deterrent for them, also to encourage the competition and also to ensure the stability on operations. Second thing, we have also issued a show cause notice. We are thoroughly going into detail of the reply that has been given. Show cause notice to CEO of IndiGo, CEO of IndiGo. This has never been done. It has been done for the first time considering the incident. Third, we have also had a detailed inquiry which has been started. We have given them a stipulated time to work it out because we wanted to know exactly where all they have done the mistake and not only how we have approached to this situation. Why was it that those 2 days, 3rd, 4th, where it peaked, why was it that 3rd and 4th, they were not even able to manage this situation? Why were the passengers, even if cancellations?
As we speak, 76 flights, arrivals and departures have been cancelled in Delhi alone today. And we are sitting on the 9th of December. You're saying it was a 2-day period where there were discomfort? No,
Navika
sir. It's been going on for 8 days.
Let me clarify certain things. 3rd, 4th is the time when the people didn't have any communication about the cancellations. We have cancellations today because IndiGo is not able to run in its full operations. But whatever is being cancelled in due with proper time, they have been communicated. Your flight is being cancelled. You can refund. You can get a refund or rebook. So all this activity is going on. But why specifically I am mentioning 3rd and 4th? An airline which has been properly functioning for 20 odd years and suddenly it comes to the point that it's not able to communicate to its passengers. It's not able to tell them. It's not able to tell them that
the charge against the airline is that this was deliberate. They had not prepared for the FTT and they always knew they could arm twist the regulator and the government, and they have managed to do precisely that.
And I want to get to the bottom of this. Let me tell through you to IndiGo or whoever it is. It is not just one airline. Any airline who thinks ministry is just sitting like this and just doing this, it is a strict warning to them. This is going to be an example for all of them and the future to come also, that nobody can take us non-seriously. We are going to take very, very strict action on this and I'm very, very damn serious about this. This is how the government is going to function.
What's the timeline?
Very soon. Let us get to the report.
I want to understand. Will you sack the CEO?
If it comes to that, definitely I will do it. I will charge them with all the penalties that is there.
Criminal action?
Definitely I will look into all of those aspects. It is not only about these things that have happened. I still sympathize. Like I'm telling you, I'm hurt, deeply hurt with all of this. For the last 7 days, I have not slept properly. I've just been sitting in the office doing continuous review meetings. My focus was on the passengers. I wanted them to travel to their destinations without any delay. I wanted all the distress they have faced to be done immediately. So whatever I do, one, I want it to be an example that anyone messes with aviation in the future. Anyone who thinks that ministry is just doing things just the way it is going to do, I'm going to set an example for that. Second thing, the people who are in distress, I want to do something for them. So we at the ministry are thoroughly looking up at the incident. We are going to see how can we do something so that the people who went through this distress also kind of get some kind of relief or benefit.
What relief or benefit? Everywhere abroad, if this is the way an airline behaves, there is compensation. Here, passengers not even offered a cup of tea. You would have seen those visuals, sir.
Absolutely.
I have seen them.
Absolutely.
A father standing there asking the ground staff that my daughter needs a sanitary pad. There is a couple wanting to fly for their wedding, had to attend their own reception virtually, sir. Where is the compensation? Right now, we are only talking about refunds for the cancellations that took place. Where is the compensation that the airline should pay for the hardship they have caused to the people who believed in an airline that owns 65% of market share? And that brings me to the question. 65%, yes. Are they arm twisting the market, the passengers, and the government alike?
Definitely not. I've always treated airline as an airline, not a big airline or a small airline. And my focus has been entirely on the smaller airlines. I wanted to encourage them. You go and speak to any of the airlines, how many consultations we had so that they can improve their operations. Is there anything in the policy that we can do so that the smaller airlines can improve their fleet? So this has been an approach from long before. I'm not saying this because just the incident happened. So there is no way anyone can say that the IndiGo is arm twisting. And this is the action that we are taking right now. I've been talking about all the steps that we are doing. Let us wait for the inquiry report to happen. I know there is a lot of anger against this thing. There needs to be action taken, but let's just not skip the legal aspect of it. Let us follow due process.
I understand the legal aspect, but I want to ask you, and I'm asking you very straightforward. The airline made no attempt to make arrangements. This was fait accompli. It was waiting to happen. They took everything for granted and they knew they controlled the system, which is why the system buckled under pressure of passenger fury and rolled back everything. I'm asking you, an airline that believes it can actually turn around the policy on its head is actually blackmailing the system. Blackmail is criminal.
And they will
What
pay
is
for
the
it.
action and when is the action?
And
sir?
they will pay for it, and very soon we will do the action. And I'm time and again telling this fact, strongly telling this fact that action is going to be there. One, on the airline.
Kab hoga
Very
ye
soon.
action?
Let's see, we have given a 15-day period for the inquiry report.
You are waiting for people to forget their discomfort.
Not at all.
Then
at
why
all.
15 days? Why not 5 days and action?
Because we wanted to do in-depth inquiry into this. One, why the situation had
Facts
to come
are
to this.
staring you in the face.
There needs to be some more in-depth one, because I want to find people who are accountable also for this within the system. And we want to ensure that this kind of incident does not repeat itself in the future. There has to be some learning also from this incident. And for that,
are we here on a training ground for learning, sir? I'm asking you this. What action against DGCA?
Definitely.
DGCA should have had minute-to-minute observation of what is happening there.
Incident has happened. If I start firing people or taking action on all the people who are involved, are we not there to run the sector also? There are people waiting at the airports to fly to their destinations. So it is a responsibility for us to keep the aviation sector intact, let the sector function properly, and then take proper action so that anyone who is coming to this kind of situation future, they all know what kind of action is going to be taken. I'm not skipping away from the responsibility that action is going to be taken, and it is going to be taken very soon.
At the moment,
Navika
it seems like an honest assurance which doesn't really cut any ice. Let me tell you where the systemic problems are.
When the
Parliamentary committee I don't know if anybody pays any attention to parliamentary committees anymore.
We do.
The parliamentary committee in July or August had warned about the shortages. The DGCA, which has personnel requirement of 1,034 the last I counted, only 550 people are there. It's half empty. 50%. Positions have not been filled. How do you expect?
Restructuring of the DGCA happened 2 years ago, and when the restructuring happened, that is where the vacancies started rising, and in due process, all the vacancies are being filled up.
It's running on 50% capacity.
All the vacancies, safety was not compromised at all.
But 50% capacity is fine to run the DGCA.
लेने के लिए एक process रहता है. There is a process to.
कितना time? 2 साल.
2 साल वो प्रोसेस
2 साल FDTL इम्प्लीमेंट करने में, 2 साल DGCA स्टाफ करने में, 2 साल इंडिगो पे एक्शन लेने में.
I have laid the facts in the parliament. I can give you the facts again that with thorough process, because we need technically subject matter experts to be there in that organization and following the SSC norms, following the UPSC, whichever needs to be recruited through that process. All the norms are being followed so that the right people come and sit in that organization. So there is no delay from any fact. I can prove you that there is no delay.
It's operating on 50% and you are saying there's no delay.
In the last 4 months, we have done the recruitment for almost 190 people.
Which means it was operating on 300 staff, which is 30% of what it required 2 months ago.
This was in addition to what the number you have specified. We have done 190 odd more. And this is because of the process that is there. You should also look at the process. This is the whole bureaucratic process which is there in recruiting the people.
Is bureaucracy taking a toll on this sector, Mr. Ram Mohan Naidu? And I'm asking you this because the dream of your government was कि हवाई चप्पल वाले भी हवाई सफर कर सकें.
Is it not true? Do you not believe it is true?
पर अब ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे we are on a hope and a prayer. Because सेफ्टी नॉर्म्स 2 साल से आप पोस्टपोन कर रहे हैं, अभी और पोस्टपोन हो गया. इंडिगो ने कोई तैयारी नहीं की. आप एक्शन लेंगे लेकिन 2 हफ्ते बाद, 3 हफ्ते बाद. अगर किसी प्राइवेट कंपनी में मैं आपको बताऊं, अगर इस तरह का परफॉर्मेंस होना, हेड्स बिगिन टू रोल. लोगों की नौकरियां जाती हैं, उसी से डिसिप्लिन आता है. यहां कुछ नहीं हुआ है राम मोहन नायडू जी. एक प्रोफ्यूजली अपॉलॉजी का एक प्रेस रिलीज आया है. इसको अगर कोई पैसेंजर जिसने सहा है दुख, अगर इसको पढ़ेगा ना, तो शायद वायलेंट हो जाएगा, जो सोल्यूशन नहीं है, लेकिन उसको इतना गुस्सा आएगा. मैं वायलेंस सपोर्ट नहीं कर रही हूं क्योंकि कुछ लोगों ने बदतमीजी भी की ग्राउंड स्टाफ से. लेकिन अगर आप ग्राउंड स्टाफ के अकाउंट्स सुनेंगे तो द एंटायर टॉप ब्रास ऑफ इंडिगो हैड गॉन साइलेंट फॉर दोज 3 or 4 वेरी बैड डेज. द ग्राउंड स्टाफ वाज फेसिंग, उनको पता ही नहीं था कि करना क्या है. इसके लिए कौन सी इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जरूरत है? नंबर 1. नंबर 2, माय क्वेश्चन टू यू आल्सो इज कि हमने बड़े बड़े बोर्ड बनाए हैं, बड़े बड़े इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर हैं, उसमें फॉर्मर सेबी चेयरमैन है, फॉर्मर ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं, फॉर्मर प्राइवेट सेक्टर के एक्सपर्ट्स हैं, फॉर्मर प्रेजेंट लॉयर्स हैं. क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है किसी की? Are these boards for friends and family? I'm making this point because Mr. Gangwal, who also had the shares of IndiGo, had written a letter in 2019 to everybody who was anybody in the system saying that IndiGo is taking the country for a ride, the airline for a ride. What action was taken?
So let me come back to this point. We are focusing on this investigation right now. One, I have told you already that we want to create an aspiration in the country for more airlines to come in. We want the aviation sector to grow. That is one process. The second thing, considering this investigation and considering IndiGo and what has happened internally within it, it is very, very important for us to know completely, to do an in-depth analysis. And I am strict with the fact that we need to take action on it. You are just stressing on the fact that when are we going to take action? We are going to take action very, very soon, but we want to comply the reports. We want to look into in-depth. You're talking about multiple situations that have happened. Why shouldn't we look at all the situations that have happened? Why should we leave out some situations? Let's take the anger of certain people. Why not we look into each and every airport? Why not we look into each and every operation that has happened? Why not we look into each and every flight that has been operating? Why not we look into each and every crew roster that has happened? There is a lot of things that need to come out of this. And why has it happened? With what you're saying, if there is a full board, there is an airline with 20 years of experience, if it comes to this, why is it that it has happened? We know certain things that have happened, but we want a complete picture. Is it wrong to have a complete picture when you take proper action? An action which will set a example, which will set the discipline in the industry,
Against
which will
who?
ensure
Against CEO Peter Albert?
Against IndiGo, against the top management.
about-
let it be the CEO and let it come
What
to
about Mr. Rahul Bhatia, who owns
let it come
nearly
to the fact.
38%?
Let us know what has happened. And definitely,
Swiss chalets. Owners sit in Swiss chalets
I'm
while
telling
people
you, Navika ji, no one
struggle
will
here
be
at
spared.
airports.
No one will be spared. Let it come to that. We will take action on all the people who will be
Sir,
responsible
you have
for it.
summoned koi aaya to hai nahi.
I have already met with the management of IndiGo. I have met with the CEO. We are meeting them again today. We are doing continuous
Action.
And let me tell you one thing. The first priority, the first focus of the ministry was to have the operation stabilized. We wanted the people to face the minimum inconvenience. And we are parallelly doing the investigation.
This management
We are
that
parallelly
made
doing
this
the
country
investigation.
go through the last whole week will give us solutions, sir? You really believe that? This
That we are taking action on them. Let us have the industry running. Let us have the operations going on. And I'm telling you time and again that I'm not shying away from taking action. We are doing the inquiry and we want to take action.
Criminal,
As a minister,
criminal
I have placed it on
liability,
the
criminal liability or only civil action?
everything, all of them are going to follow.
In your
All of them
investigation
are
so
going to
far,
follow.
in your investigation so
Enforcement
far,
action
is
is
there
what-
a criminal liability case
Enforcement
that is
action.
made out?
Criminal liability, whatever is there within the act and rules, everything will be taken, keeping into account the distress that has been faced by the passengers. This Navika ji, I'm not only telling here, I've placed it on the floor of the house also.